Hello, welcome. It's Christmas almost. It's Christmas Eve, if you want to be that kind of a nerdy guy. Hello, everyone. Let's kill the music. We'll have more of that coming in later on. It's Rob here. Episode 142 of the Pro Synth Network show. We are live. It is a little bit later than we normally start. We're just kind of getting things ready. We've got some wonderful surprises for you all. This is just going to be a really casual, happy, Christmassy type show where we just sit back and reminisce and ruminate and anything else that begins with R or has the R in it. So drink includes in there. So happy Christmas. Everyone, nice little Scottish stout there. And we'll hopefully be joined by at least one, if not more, special surprise guests are going to come and visit us in the Pro Synth Network to wish you a happy Christmas and to have you wish them a happy Christmas too. So welcome to everyone. We might cover some newsy bits later on if we have time, but that's the least of our worries. But before we do anything else, before we get into all the fun and games, can I just remind you all, please, if you haven't already, do comment either in the chat if you're watching live or down below if you're watching post live. Subscribe and of course share us around amongst your friends. We do like that, so please do some of that. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter, on Facebook and Instagram, and here, of course, on YouTube, just by going at ProSynth Network, and you'll find all of those places there. If you want to buy our merchandise, we'd be super grateful. There's the website address, vipergraphics.co.uk. Scoot on down the page, you'll find our material, T-shirts, polo shirts, hoodies, and more. All make wonderful presents, although it's probably a little bit late for Christmas this year, but hey, what about next year? And of course, if you want to make a donation, you can do so using the super chat, the super stickers, using in the YouTube chat. And of course, if you want to, you can always donate to us here at PayPal. And I have to say, a huge, massive thank you to everyone that's donated to us this year. We got a wonderful surprise in our email this morning with a payment from YouTube to us, and it was just like, wow. Just wow, really. So Ben and I are off to the Maldives next week. Thank you very much, and good night. Talking of whom, let's bring him in. It's Mr. Ben Simpson.
Hello.
Let's give you a cheer. There we go. Or should we give you a
Happy Christmas?
There we go. Or a
Happy Christmas, everyone.
There we go.
Yeah.
Also, having two in you. How are you, mate?
I'm good, yeah. It's good to be back, actually, because I've
you've
not
been
been
away
on for ages because I've been gigging everywhere. And Andrew Brooks mentioned in the chat then, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be at a gig? And I did have a moment of panic.
Oh,
God. But no, I'm pretty sure that we're not gigging now till New Year, so nice bit of rest.
Good. Well, it's well deserved. Yeah. And Kent hasn't arrived yet, but hopefully he'll be here soon. Can I just also, before we do anything else, just say a big thank you to the aforementioned Mr. Andrew Brooks for your very fine donation there. You are more than welcome, and you don't have to donate, you don't have to pay, but if you do, it keeps us going. So if you like what we do, that's fantastic. So thank you ever so much, Andrew, for that. So we are all snug in here. Winter is setting in all around, certainly the Northern Hemisphere anyway, and so we have a nice big roaring fire in the background there, so it's just keeping us nice and toasty. That's a bit of a cheesy thing, wasn't it? Let's get rid of that. So shall we see? I can actually hear somebody coming up the path. Yes. Oh, some crunchy snowy footsteps there. Maybe if they're coming to see us, they'll ring the doorbell. Oh, there we go. There's somebody at the door.
That's your doorbell, not mine.
We'll send the butler. There he is. He's off. And he'll open the door. It's only Andrew bloody Longhurst.
Santa Longhurst. Oh!
How are you? Merry Christmas.
Fantastic.
You're looking like one of the three wise men there.
Well, I thought I'd go to be mainly sort of that neck of the woods. Generic.
Very good.
But I did bother with a bow tie. I don't know if you noticed that. There we go.
Oh, I didn't see that before. You got a little dicky.
Yeah. No expense spent.
No expense spent. Yeah. Apparently Kent needs a link. I've sent him a link, so it's in his thingy, his inbox. So I'll send it again if you want. Rob the Twat never sent me a link to the show, and I did. I literally just sent it. I'm sorry, Ken. I'm so sorry. It's in your messenger inbox. Go and have a. So anyway, Andrew, how are you? Have you been busy? Tools down for Christmas.
Yeah, we've been busy just rounding stuff up. We've got things ready to go next year. We've had a few weirdy Christmas parties with some other people that we know that do community-based stuff. So we've been having a few Christmas pies and just getting everything ready for the launch of the new studios next year. And yeah, been having a wonderful time. What about you guys? Everyone else?
Yes, yeah, all good here. Just preparing and doing the last minute bits and bobs. I finished work last night, so I've had all today. I had spent half the day in bed just kind of catching up, which was nice.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, but I used a lot of the year's budget on this fantastic
on special effects. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we appreciate that.
I like it.
So I'm just going to turn this. I've got this roaring fire next to me, and it's actually making me feel hotter than I actually am, because when you see a fire burning, you just feel warmer.
You do.
Anyway, I think I hear somebody else coming up the front path. Yes, I hear crunchy footsteps. Oh, there we go. There's the doorbell.
And ironically, the doorbell wouldn't work for him.
Let's open the door. It's only Mr. Kent Spong.
Hey!
He finally arrives.
There was no link.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Ben, for sending the link.
Oh, dear. How are you? You're looking very festive with your tree there, look.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah, but you got some lights behind you there, but over the CS80, or are they just normally there? And I haven't noticed them before?
They're the normal. Hey, this is a sexy keyboard. Lights.
Sexy keyboard.
Sexy
keyboard.
Yeah.
Good
Absolutely.
stuff. Are you well?
Yes.
Good. Well, that's all we need. Is that?
Well, still early, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. This is true. We'll get there. This is going to be a hectic show, I can tell. Right, so let's see. Welcome, Kent. It's good to see you as always. Let's see. I think. Oh no, wrong jingle. I've spoilt the surprise there. I can hear somebody else coming up the garden path. There they are. They're ringing the doorbell. Let's open the doors. Need to whiz through these now. Look at this. We're gonna redress the overly male balance here. We're gonna bring in the one and the very only Miss Dina Perlman from the Eleanor Perlman Foundation. Thank you ever so much for joining us from an exceptionally cold bomb cyclone victim America. How are things?
It's a typical apocalypse,
How are you? It's been a while.
What's that?
How are you? It's been a while.
Yeah, I am pretty well. I'm looking forward to the first staycation I've had in a long time.
Yeah, cool stuff.
I get to play with my little guy there.
Oh, yeah. Would you call the little guy the miniature ARP or the miniature Yoda?
Yes. A little guy, that's it, yeah.
Oh, bless. So are you all settled now for the holidays? Are you sort of entrenched at home and just going to spend some time there? Or have you got plans?
I have plans to not leave the house if possible. And actually, I think the weather is arranging that for me. So yeah, it's going to drop 50 degrees throughout the course of today.
That's crazy. It really is crazy.
Wow.
I remember, I think it might have been the last time I was in the States. I went out to San Francisco, and there was another thing that came down from the north and disrupted airline travel for days, and I got stuck in that, and it was horrible. So yeah, not good at all. But hey, look, great. Thank you ever so much for coming. Fantastic to see you. I think the last time I saw you was probably Synth Fest, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a blast.
That was amazing.
That was a great weekend. Must do that again.
It was magical for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was great to have you there, so that was fantastic.
Thank you.
Excellent stuff. Well, I can hear somebody else walking up the garden path, ringing the bell.
Yeah.
And let's open the door to them. Who is it this time? all the way from Scotland. It's all the Marky Barnes. Hello.
How are you doing?
Good to see you, mate. It's been a while. How are you?
I'm great. I've been so busy the past month. It's just been like a blur. And today was the final day of day job work.
Okay, yeah.
And there's no gig tonight, the same as Ben. So thankfully, my next gig is Hogmanay, which so I'm looking forward to just some time off to actually play about with the stuff in here. Because it's
so no gigs between now and New Year then.
No.
Good
we were doing Christmas party nights all our last week, the week before the last 3 weeks. Plus, we were Cheryl and I were. Well, all of us, we were all working during the day in our day jobs as well. So we're a bit zombied, to be honest. But it's great to be back on. It's been so long.
I know. Well, one of the things that you have been up to and been very busy with, and I've got to give this a plug because this was absolutely brilliant. You've released a Christmas song.
I've done.
And let's have a listen to it.
Me cozy and warm, but I can't wait for Christmas Day and the morn. It's been so long since we've been together. It's always Christmas time that makes us feel better. Fun sitting next to the tree together with our family. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas with me. Wow, it's Christmas time. Christmas time with me. Wow.
And there we go. Let me just stop that there. That was cracking. That was brilliant.
All the
Called
elements
song
there.
ever.
That was brilliant. Well done. So that's you, your wife, and your other musical partner. You are Angel Star together. You are the band. Yeah, so you're the band. How long did that take to put together?
To be fair, it was very, very random and very quickly done. So I think it was the second last week in November. Frank, the other gentleman in the video, came up to me at the end of the gig and said, "Matt, I've written words for a Christmas song." And I was like, oh no, here we go. that was my reaction. And I said, right, fine. I said, we're going to need to act in this quickly if you want it out for this Christmas.
Yeah.
So he sent over the words and a couple of voice recordings on his phone of the sort of idea he had for the melody. And then Cheryl and I sat with it one night and said, we'll need to change this a bit, and we'll need to do this. And I put a loop from Logic on as a drum beat.
Okay.
And I just played straight on the piano and Cheryl recorded a rough vocal, and then Frank learned his bits, and then they done all their vocals, and then I put the music behind it properly once it was done. But it didn't really take that long. Maybe all in maybe about 20 hours work or something.
That's not bad, and it's a proper Christmas tune as well.
Well, I said to Frank, I said, look, what kind of style are you wanting? And to be fair, I said to Frank, I said, please not another piano ballad, because I've got up to here with piano ballads. And he said, as long as it's cheesy.
Nice.
I said, well, do you know what Christmas is cheesy? And
yeah,
it isn't really a Christmas song unless it is cheesy. But exactly. I mean, I'm quite happy with how it turned out, and it'll be the last song that I complete on my old Mac, because I've got a new one. So and to be fair, it was struggling. See, with the backing vocals and the harmonies and stuff, even though it maybe doesn't sound like there's an awful lot in the track, there's quite a lot of harmony parts and things like that seem to eat up your CPU power. So it was really struggling in the end.
Yeah.
It got to the stage, I think Cheryl suggested I do something. And I said, Cheryl, I can't put anything else on this. the computer's dying on me. So
Well,
I'm pleased that that's new machine here.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll come back to you at some point in a few months' time and ask you how you're getting on with it, because I think a lot of people are teetering on the edge. But look, Mark, it's brilliant to see you. Thanks for coming. Stick around. Stick around. Let's see. I think I can hear somebody else coming up the driveway here. He's ringing the bell. Oh, I've given it away. He's ringing the bell. Let's open the door. It's the one and the only Mr. Mike Medway. Now, has he just got a puzzled look there because he didn't understand the music we were playing, or he's opening his... Oh, he's going to do that. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. Just let him get it out of his system.
Hello, you nice people in the computer!
And there we go. We can breathe. Oh, turn that reverb off.
It's off, believe me, but you gotta have it.
How are you?
I am
Dermike?
Oh, I am. I am inside, and I'm really glad I'm inside. For those of you who don't know, by the way, earlier, you talked about some great, terrible, disruptive force coming down from the north and messing everything up. You really shouldn't talk about Kent that way.
Indeed.
Anyway, how are we doing here? I've been working, and I'm still going to be working. I've got a couple of clients that are going to need stuff done, but I am allowing myself to sleep in, and I actually getting some music done. Quick shout out.
Go for it.
As of 3 days ago, Arturia has released a free Christmas gift.
They have indeed.
The Filter MS-20, which is a absolutely dynamite little filter plugin with a step sequencer and an envelope follower and some other cool stuff in it. And I wrote the manual. It's make anything sound massive. It's just amazing. It's so much fun, and they were so very kind to me. Working with Arturia is always great, and this is such an amazing product. So go on out. It's free.
Yeah.
How can you lose?
And it's not just a filter, because it's got step sequencer in there.
And that's for modulation. It's got a
great.
step sequencer. It's got an envelope follower, and it's got a function generator, which is essentially a really fancy LFO. And it sounds so good. Yeah. Oh my God! Yeah, it's not just the filter. It's also a lot of the stuff in the external signal processor. So there's a lot of really filter.
Oh, getting some echo there from somewhere. Anyway, listen, great to see you. Hopefully, here's an open invitation. We're going to do this in public. Will you come on our show, first new show of New Year, to discuss last year's predictions and next year's as well?
Oh, I'd be happy to. Absolutely.
Excellent. I will email your people.
You have your people call my people. We'll do lunch.
We'll do that.
Maybe they'll get us. They'll bring us mimosas in the jacuzzi. We'll make it right. Right.
Excellent stuff. We'll do that. So what we're going to do at the beginning of 2023, which is only just over a week away, our first show of the new year is going to be us looking back at predictions that we made with Mike on the first show of 2022 and see how much we got right, and we did get some right, and how many we got wrong, which was a lot.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Robbie, are you talking New Year's Eve, or are you talking January 7th?
January 7th or whatever it is, the first show of first show of the new year.
No, I've got a radio show on New Year's Eve.
Nice one. Right, okay. Before I move on, we do have another guest in the waiting, I think, coming up the path. But before we do that, I want to say a big thank you to the following people. Wagyu, thank you for your 10 chuffs. Kent needs a link. He's got that already. To our friend over in Ireland, Ollie, thank you ever so much indeed for that donation. It's superb. 2112 Tintin. I'm not entirely sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that's what I'm going to say. £10. Thank you for all the brilliant shows. They say you are more than welcome. It's what we do. It's what we love to do. Chris Blythe, still building his Fairlight from spare parts over in California, originally from Scotland. He's here. $10. Happy holidays, he says. Thanks for all the shows. He's lurking because he's still working. Oh, come on. Put down tools. It's Christmas. David Surchek, happy holidays. $9.99. That's very precise. And David, you posted something on Facebook earlier about not having written a song in the entire year of 2022. Don't sweat it. There's still a week left. Okay, so just knuckle down and sort something out. Andy Synth Addict, happy Christmas and anything else you celebrate to all. Here's to another great PSN musical year and a hearty TX7 doorbell ring for everyone. There we go. Thank you for your donation of $20. It's most appreciated. And to Brian Kehoe for his $10. Congrats on another fine year. You and Pro Matterhorn Network are my favourites. Superb. Thank you ever so much for that donation. And finally, bringing up the rear in spectacular fashion is Jason Crouch with his 10 quid. Stick that in the Christmas box. Dr. Mike is in the house. He certainly is. Right. Thank you, everyone, for your donations. Let me just clear those up and then we don't repeat. Dedicate those. Lovely stuff. Right, let's now. This next person is, I think, creeping up the footpath with their snowshoes on. There is no camera feed, so I'm hoping there's going to be some audio at the other end of this line. There's the doorbell. Let's open the door. Are you there, Michelle Moog Kusa?
I am here.
Yay! We can't see you. We can't see you, but you're there. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're very well. We're very well indeed. Let me just bring everyone up on the screen and we'll just... Dina's here. Mike's here. Mark's here. Andrew's here. I'm here. Ben's here. Ken's here. We're all... The gang's all here.
Hello.
First question. How are things weather-wise where you are? Because we know that it's pretty bad.
Yeah. They are really cold, but otherwise it's really beautiful out. It's clear skies and sunny. It is about 5 degrees Fahrenheit here, so it is very, very cold. But otherwise it's really, really okay. Maybe a little breezy now and then. Mm-hmm. So not quite as bad as we thought.
Cool.
Lady Aptitude says, the daughters of the American synth revolution.
There you go. I have long dreamt of this moment of having both Dina and Michelle on the show at the same time. And here we go. It's Christmas. My Christmas gift has been delivered. Thank you very much.
And I'm glad that it's a balmy 5 degrees where you are, Michelle. We're sitting at -7, and last night it was -14, and the wind chill was -37. It's nasty out here, but we're doing okay. We're fine.
So Michelle, how has this year been for the Bob Moog Foundation?
Well, other than that, I can't get my camera to connect to you guys today. It's been fine.
I need to grab a still picture, don't I? I need to grab some sort of still picture. Let me grab a still picture while you're talking. But yeah, so BMF, what's 2022 really achieved? What's been achieved by the BMF in 2022?
What's been achieved? Well, we expanded the Museum to include a brand new exhibit that includes a 1967 Moog modular that was used on Apocalypse Now, and a custom-built exhibit that allows the public to patch a modular synthesizer.
Nice.
Yes, so that was one big achievement. We're also working on a custom educational tool that will allow us to expand Dr. Bob's Sound School nationwide.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that is almost complete. And actually, I think we have not only one, but 2 versions that will come to fruition in the next week or 2. So that's kind of a big deal.
And yeah, what about plans for 2023?
Plans for 2023 are to actually do more work online, to deliver more of our work online, to actually begin to expand Dr. Bob's Sound School beyond our local area, where we've taught over 25,000 kids in the past 8 or 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yes. So there's always a lot going on here. We're continuing to get items donated to our archive, so we are working to make sure that we are protecting, preserving, and sharing those. And one of the other big accomplishments of this year was the release of Bob Moog's biography.
Of course, yeah.
Which I approached Albert Glinsky in 2009 and asked him if he would consider writing it. I've been working closely with him for the past 12 years to bring that to fruition, so it was great to finally see that come about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's great. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm just going to flip over to the other daughter of a synthesizer legend and pioneer, because I want to know, Dina, how things have been with the Alan R. Perlman Foundation in 2022. I mean, besides coming over to the UK and hanging out with us all weekend at Synthfest, what's been going on that side of synthesizer daughterdom?
Aside from the world tour, I spend 9 time zones in 2 weeks.
Wow.
We've obtained a few Odysseys, a black face and a white face, which is wonderful for the Arps for All collection. Thank you to Alison Cassidy and Alex Ball.
Yeah.
So actually also coming from those opposite sides of the world. So it's kind of interesting irony. And we're really excited about that because we didn't have any vintage Odysseys previously. We got a 16 voice piano, very rare, sounded absolutely delicious. We got it at the same time we had the Odyssey Symposium. So right after, we all rushed over to the Arps for All location, which was not too far from Berkeley, and Lisa Belladonna got to play on it a little bit. It was great.
Nice.
And we are creating some more strategic relationships. There is a place called the New England Synth Center. Also, some of you might know it as Synthcube. They sell Eurorack and DIY modules and things like that. And they have recently opened a brick and mortar store in Waltham, Massachusetts. So we're doing some projects with them, which is wonderful. We're going to be introducing a artist in residency. And this is going to be at TRC, but we're also thinking of opening it or making opportunities in other studios that have, say, 2,500 or more. And if there are any of your viewers out there that have a spare 2,500 in their basement that they need to test, we're happy to help you and take it off your hands.
Everyone have a quick look under the rug. See if they've got one sitting there.
Can I do a
the cat's eating it.
So we got the calendar. It's not too late to get yours. It is for Christmas, obviously. And since Brian is here, I want to tell one short little story. I'll keep it really brief. So, see these?
Yes.
The classic. So I used to have a poster. It was a black light poster or a classic orange in my basement. And it disappeared when I went to college somehow. And I saw one online for $500, and I said, I'm going to make one. And I was speaking to Brian about it, and we did a little collaboration, and I reached out to Pete Townsend and his folk, and they gave their mazel tov on it. And so we recreated that poster. We'll be releasing the actual blacklight version next year. I had to find someone that made them, which is rare. And so we have some really cool merch that's coming up. Yeah. So I think that covers a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like both yourself and Michelle have had fantastic years with both of your more than admirable ventures. Congratulations to you both. Michelle, you've got a calendar out too as well, am I right?
Yeah, it's a 2022-2023 calendar.
The Synthesizer Pioneers one, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic. And I can vouch for that. Is a brilliant little calendar. But
so we could each buy one of them.
Yeah.
And then we could have a stereo ARP and Moog calendar.
That's the idea.
Thing.
That's the idea. Yeah,
Brilliant.
absolutely. Yeah, everyone go out and buy a calendar at the very least.
Two.
Yes, exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
One for in the studio, one
Michelle's
for in the
calendar
living room.
is still going on. It's right. It's a few more months.
Well,
Yeah,
it
it's like
goes-
an
It goes into June,
Oh wow. Okay.
and then it's actually meant to be kind of a perpetual calendar because it has a lot of each of the pioneers gave us 5, 6, 7 special dates throughout the year,
Mhm.
and those are embedded within the grid. So it's kind of intended to be used in perpetuity.
Nice.
It's
That's good.
beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Good for the environment. Yeah. Recycling. Gotta love that. I think I hear somebody. No, I don't know. I hear somebody coming up. I keep pressing that one button.
No, those were the weirdest footsteps I think I've
Yeah.
ever heard.
Somebody's ringing the doorbell. Let's go and see who that is. Ladies and gentlemen, from the wilds of Lincolnshire, it's Mr. Chris Dodsworth, everyone. Hello. And he's got his
Hi, Chris.
Hello there. You all right?
got his Christmas jumper on and everything. Look at that. Getting right into the spirit of things. You filthy animal. And he's got beer as well. Yeah,
It's Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. How are you?
Not bad, mate. Not bad, thank you.
Yeah, good stuff.
Thanks for having me on.
You're coming through a bit too in the left for me. I don't know if that's something you've.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, yeah.
but maybe
I am just plugged into my left channel.
Oh,
Can you tell that your end?
No, I don't think I can.
let's have
but
a-
Maybe I'll turn off stereo audio. Maybe that's
There
the
you
thing,
go.
is it?
Does that work?
Oh, no, I am in
No.
mono. That's weird.
Ooh. Technical hitch. No.
Excellent.
Anyway, well,
No idea.
We'll live with it. We'll live
Okay.
You know, conversation leans a little to the left. I don't think
Yeah.
people will kick too
Yeah.
much.
Absolutely. So, you've had a very busy year, haven't you, Chris? What with
Yeah,
all the
that's right.
Sonicware stuff?
Yeah, tons to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
This
lots
week
of
I've
really,
been-
lots of really positive stuff happening as well.
Yeah, it's been
fantastic.
really overwhelming.
And of course, you've got your burgeoning film scoring career as well.
Yes, yeah. Independent film scoring career.
A film is a film is a film.
A film is a film.
Yeah, so well done. So look, I mean, you've been doing all of your videos for things like the Sonicware Sample Trek and the Lo-Fi 12. Have you still got some stuff in production? And we still going to see some more videos coming soon?
Yeah, I've been working on the Lo-Fi 12 main tutorial this week, and it should drop tomorrow.
Oh,
just before
wow.
Christmas. Yeah.
Nice little Christmas present there. So
Yeah.
your channel is Chris Lody. That's
That's
Chris
right.
Lody. So yeah, everyone go and check that out because there's some really great content in there, especially if you've got some Sonicware stuff. I want to bring in our next guest because they're just coming up the drive and they can only stay for a few minutes, I believe. I do believe it's our very own elf on the shelf. It's only Paulie Alex Bow. Wow, look at you. All sparkly and Christmassy and shit. Look at that. And you're frozen.
Wait, it's cold.
Look at that. It must be cold. Are you still there, Paulie? No, Paulie. Oh, look at that. I said Paulie would only be coming on for a... Oh, hang on. Are you there? No, gone. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, there was a bit of...
Oh, there's a look. There we go.
Are you back? Oh, I don't know. We've got some technical issues. It was bound to happen.
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
There you are.
Where are you, Paulie? Are you in, like, the North Pole or something?
I am. No,
Oh, there's
I'm
lag.
at my brother's house.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, tell your brother to get better Wi-Fi.
Stop using that damp string.
I know. Oh, no. Oh, there's no audio. The lips are moving, but there's nothing coming out. There's a joke there somewhere.
Your lips move, but
there
I
really
can't
not-
hear
really
what
isn't.
you're saying.
I'll tell you what, Paulie. You're on mute for a start. There we go. Let's see if I can. No, I can't do. Oh, move around a bit.
I think she went to Synthetic School of Camera Work.
Yes, yeah,
Except
definitely.
we're getting ceilings instead of carpets. That's what it is.
Well, everything's balance, isn't it? It's all about balance. No, I think, Paul, you might have to move closer to the router or something. It's not great. It's less than 1 frame per second. Lady Attitude.
better
Listen,
Christmas tree
Paulie,
than us.
see if you can sort that
Frames
out.
per minute. Frames per minute.
We'll come back. We'll come back and see if we can bring Paulie back in to the show. This is just fantastic. I mean, what a selection, a smorgasbord of synthesizer heroes and legends and friends.
And then me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you beat me to it. Chris, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Where the hell's my sample track?
I don't
No,
know.
you promised. You promised that you'd sneak one off the line, and I'd get it 2 months early. You know,
It's on a ship somewhere, isn't it?
Oh, please, holy ship!
Holy ship, holy ship indeed. Now, wasn't it Brad from Isla Instruments who just recently posted a link and said, look, everyone who's ordered the next batch, you can actually track the ship across the Pacific as it's coming over, and it's like it's going to like arrive in Los Angeles around New Year's Eve, I think, and then it's got to go across the continental United States to Florida so that Brad can then sort of send them all out from there. But yeah, that's what he did. Now I think, hang on a minute, Paulie's back, or Paulie's face? No, Paulie's left arm. No, Paulie's frozen. There's a huge lag.
Can
Hello.
you see me?
Yes,
We
there we
can.
go. That's much better.
Stay there. Don't move. Keep everything where it is.
Okay.
How are you? How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thanks.
Good. So you're at your brother's for Christmas, are you?
It
Or
just says it was pausing for some reason.
that's weird. It's a
Pardon?
little
It just
bit.
said it was
You know,
pausing. I'm just at my brother's house. We've just had way too many sausage rolls.
Is there such a thing
We're
as-
all feeling
Yeah.
a bit, cheery and festive. There's
Good.
not such a thing as too many, But I just wanted to come on and say hello and wish everyone a Merry Christmas, basically.
and the same to you and yours. And this, because this is your first Christmas as a parent as well. That must be super exciting.
Yeah. So it's like, obviously, Fen probably doesn't know exactly.
Oh, gone again.
Yeah, we've lost the audio again.
Audio's gone.
Sorry.
Anybody
We
good
were
at lip
just
reading?
getting-
Anybody
we were
good at
just-
lip reading?
Something about getting a Formula One car.
Yeah, did you say that Fen was going to get a Formula One car and
And flying lessons.
flying lessons? Yeah,
Quite bizarre. Quite bizarre.
See,
no. Listen, I think we might have to give up because no. Just as I said that, was there a hint of audio coming through? No, gone. There we go.
Oh well.
Never mind. Anyway, that was Paulie Alex Bower, everyone. I think one of the breakout stars of synthesizer chat shows and stuff of this year. Great to have them on. Great to meet them at Synthfest this year as well. It was absolutely fantastic. Hey, everyone. Gorgeous just come on the screen here. Look at that. Michelle Moog's got her camera going.
Squidgy
Hi,
bum.
Michelle.
Look at that. Oh, yeah, by the way. Yeah, Kent, sorry, you had a message there?
Squidgy bum. Right, baby.
Hi.
We'll take your word for it, Kent.
Yeah.
Because there's a lawsuit there somewhere.
Oh, I hope so.
That's a great photo you've got behind you there.
Yeah, Bob when he was 14.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
That
man.
was a self-portrait that he took to submit to the Bronx High School of Science.
That's a selfie. Wow.
His application.
Cool stuff. Excellent. Well, it's great that we can see you now. So let's bring everybody back in. Ben, for some reason, took himself out of the stream. There we go.
Yeah,
What are you picking your nose?
it was to keep the nice geometry. I didn't like it when it threw off into 7 squares or whatever. It was, 9
This
squares.
is much more like Hollywood Squares, isn't it?
Well,
This
yeah.
is-
yeah, or the Brady Bunch.
yeah. We can do all that because you have to make sure you do it the right way around. don't
Got to
you?
look down.
Yeah. Got to look down. Oh, this is fun. So, if the chatties have any questions, Christmassy questions for our guests, please do throw them in the chat and just stick a big capital Q on the front of your comments so that we can pick them out. But if you don't have to. This is, excuse me, just a moment. I'm just going to I was.
I'll take. It says here, I'll take Dina for the block. Yeah, Dina's in the central square, so you're Paul Lind.
There's only so much of artificial fur I can take on my head at any one time. That's horrible. Bar humbug, indeed. Oh, right. Well, who should we speak to? Who we spoken to? Let's see. Andrew, tell us. You've been busy this year because you've been rebuilding a studio.
Yeah, we've been rebuilding the studios, which we've been in for the last 10 years on the top of a 17th century mill building in Gloucestershire in England. And I can't say too much about this, but it rhymes with we might be buying the building.
Okay.
We're certainly trying, but the goal with this, which is why I'm really pleased to be here tonight, we are we're buying it as a cooperative. There's a lot of other organisations in the building, some of whom are doing a lot of community outreach, and I think in today's troubled world, one of the things which we're all looking to do where we are is to, rather than go for the divide, is to unite by building community networks. So we're doing a lot of mentoring, and one of the things we're doing with the studios next year is we're going to be pulling through a lot of people to give them the chance to learn about both synthesizers, synthesis, sound, audio, from the earliest things. So from using a mini Moog, right, and or obviously a 2600, of course. Right the way through, and then also video. We've got the video studios and that kind of stuff. So we're looking to build a program where we're pulling people through, youngsters and others, people with learning difficulties, and in doing that, getting them to work on projects for people that can't afford to pay for those kinds of services. So organizations that want videos or music for something, and we get that made by the people we're mentoring. Neither of those two sides gets charged, but we get some funding for it, and in the meantime everyone's kind of winning from it, and we're doing a job.
That is so awesome, man. That is phenomenal. It is. Wow.
And we're going to be, Rob knows about the kind of thing we're doing. So we're building a model, which means that once we've got it pinned down, the purchase of a community-based building and then bringing people through and mentoring them in the creative arts. So we're going to become a creative center of excellence, but for everyone. And once we've got that done, we hope we'll get it done. We're certainly trying, fingers crossed. Then we're going to be exporting that model as a whole pack to anyone else that wants it, to say this is how you do it, because it's we've got to start working a little bit more to draw us all together, a bit like this cast tonight, the Pro Synth Network. It's bringing people together from all over and lots of different areas, people from competing, one would think, companies, only they're not really, because they're both wonderful. So all of this is really good stuff, and it's given me hope going into 2023 that we can all be doing an awful lot more to draw people together and move stuff forward.
Absolutely. I think that deserves.
Yeah. Whoa!
And also, ho ho ho! There we go. Santa approves. Santa approves.
Good.
You have no idea the amount of time I spent last night getting all these little audio clips and bits and then not only getting them but sticking them onto my little thing, my device here, so that I press of a button and I still get it wrong.
We don't need to hear about your little device, Rob.
Well, if I don't brag about it, nobody else will.
I tell you what, though, you're getting your money's worth out of that East 17 one, even though, like...
I know, even though... So, if he doesn't show, I tell you, I'm going to swing for him. If he said he definitely would turn up. If he doesn't, I will. I'll punch him. So hopefully, I'm staggered. So I just want, first of all, before we go any further, I want to say thank you to Mark, to Dina, to Michelle, to Andrew, to Chris, and to Mike. And of course, to Paulie, who kind of dipped in and dipped out again. I've just had a message, and apparently the phone didn't like StreamYard or whatever. I just want to say thank you for just showing up and responding to my very late email. So basically, on was it Wednesday? I think I thought, what can we do just to kind of make it a little bit more of because the one thing Pro Synth Network I think has achieved, not on its own, but as part of a whole range of other shows that are out there, like Sonic State and like Jamie on a Sunday and Dom on a Sunday and a Wednesday as well with his mental health stuff, and of course Ramsey on Saturday afternoons, which is always great, but it interferes with my listening to the football, but I still listen anyway. Is that it's created this wonderful community, and it's a small community, but it's a really, really tightly knit community. And I thought, what can we do? And I just sent this email out, and I played the numbers game. You throw a lot of bait, and you hope that one or two might get a bite. And quite remarkably, we've had so many people. I've heard other people that say they're going to do their best to try and join between now and the end of the show, which is about an hour and 10 away. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, not only just for showing up today, but for showing up when you've been on the show in the past, and giving all of our viewers and listeners huge amounts of entertainment, knowledge, enthusiasm, advice, hints, tips. Chris was doing. We did a special with Chris this year on the Sonicware stuff, and it was kind of like a mini tutorial. We've had Dina and Michelle, who both are just so inspiring with what they do with their organizations, and I'm just so glad that I can be this thorn between two roses at times when I have obviously Dina came over to Synthfest this year, and I was beyond honored to be her chauffeur and get take things in and deliver them, and Michelle has been fantastic with all the work that she's done, and we nabbed you at Synthplex, or should I say Manny and Andy nabbed you, and you gave us the time in your busy schedule to give us a little hello and tell us all about that stuff. And Andy's just always there helping us out and just turning up when we've literally got to the bottom of the barrel. We just what's going on? We'll give Andy a call. Talking of which, Dr. Mike Metley, author supreme, disc jockey or radio jock, and of course he comes on the show quite often and is just a wealth of knowledge and information,
a veritable suppository
indeed. And of course, if you haven't read Synth Gems 1, why not? It's a fantastic book, of which Mike is hugely responsible for, as well as the team of people that were behind that, and of course other projects. And Marky Barnes, who does some amazing sound design. Is it Mark Barnes Sounds is the website, markbarnessounds.com. And he does sound design for the Korg Modwave and the Wave State and the Ops 6, and there's some other stuff on there, I think. And of course, he's got his band Angel Star. So if you're in Scotland, or maybe you're not in Scotland, but you've got a deep wallet and you can afford to have these guys come down to do your wedding or your nuptials or whatever it might be, these are the people. And of course, I should have saying this maybe at the end of the show, but hey, I'm on a roll. To Kent and to Ben, for putting up with me hassling them every week to come on the show or to do the graphics. Yeah, those guys deserve this.
Ben, him.
Yeah, him.
No, him.
Yeah,
him. He does all the bloody work.
Yeah,
I don't. I really don't.
So all those wonderful images.
You
don't
guys,
even read the notes.
You three stooges deserve such a big round of applause, because you're the ones who brought this all together, made it happen, and we all love you. Okay, so you guys need to take a bow, because we adore you all. Okay, fine, except Longhurst. Longhurst doesn't love you, but he doesn't love anybody. Bah,
I'm still waiting for my is it E4X Ultra or
it's still here waiting.
I know.
It's here. An E4 XT Ultra fully kitted out with the RFX. It's there waiting for you, mate.
God, don't you love the alphabet soup that we have in this industry?
I know.
Oh, it's an E4XL. It's like, I know what that is. God damn it.
Trevor.
Yeah, let's call it
Trevor. There you go.
But I do want to call out that Kent made a point there, and it is a very valid point. That Ben, Ben was the guy I always say this because it means I can shift the blame, but Ben was the guy that kind of started all of this. It was his idea to start the Facebook group, and then I think we just sort of like threw some ideas and said, hey, well, why don't we do a live show? That'd be cool. And here we are, 2 and a bit years in.
And the consistency, Robbie. It's
consistently poor, yeah.
No, it's consistently there now. Do you know what I mean? It's great to watch it all the time. And I think I was on episode 6 with you guys.
Something like that. Yeah, and it was
like right at the start. And if you think like how far the shows came since then.
Well, yeah, when we started, you know, we thought, well, who could we ask? And we thought, well, our friends in the community, you know, people like yourself and others that are just, you know, on the internet. You know, we had, you know, and I don't mean that we started off at the bottom and worked our way up, but we had to start somewhere, and we couldn't just reach out to the likes of Michelle or Dina or, you know, Steve Porcaro or you know, all those other kind of amazing names, Mick McNeil, David Arnold, for crying out loud. Hopefully one day Hans Zimmer. But look, I mean, we couldn't do that if we didn't start with the community. And we started with the community, and everyone thought it was good, and that gave us the inspiration, and it gave us a little bit of courage to kind of knock on the doors of, you know, significant people in this industry and in this community to get them to come on. And they've to a man, woman, and everything in between. They've all been super generous, and I don't think we've ever had anybody say no to our requests. They've either completely ignored us or they've agreed, but they never said no, which is cool.
I always took the ignoring as a no.
No, I don't know.
Especially when they hit them up again.
Yeah,
and then again.
No, I still take that as a positive until I get the injunction.
Yeah.
Or the cease and desist, or that order that says you must not come within 500 yards of.
Yeah, I take the brick through the window as a bit.
Oh, the brick through the window. Yeah, absolutely.
There's a couple of interesting people that I've spoke to, and they've agreed to come on, but I've never been able to get back in touch with them. I think they must have blocked me.
Yeah. Case in point.
I think you'll find that's because they've both got 2500s in their basement, and they knew. They knew this was going to
Can't put their
If
face
you
up.
keep them on screen long enough, we'll track them down.
The thing is, we do persevere. We do because so one of the first, you know, Ben and I sat down ages ago and said, who do we want? Let's just pick a list. And, you know, I think Ben's first one was Mick McNeil, because he's a huge Simple Minds fan, huge Mick McNeil fan, and was kind of friendly with him on Facebook. So we thought, well, you know, let's do that. One of my first ones was Martin Ware, and because I've known and worked with Martin just a little bit in the past, so I thought, oh yeah, that'll be an easy one. And Martin said, yeah, I'd love to do it, but it took about a year in between him being so bloomin' busy and, you know, maybe reconsidering, but eventually we got him on the show, and it was fantastic. And, you know, so, you know, we do try and get, you know, some of these people on, because, you know, we know that our audience love to hear from them, and I think it just gives them just a sense of, you know, this community is, you know, whether you're a superstar or just sitting in your bedroom twiddling away, or whether you're educating people or raising money or whatever, if you're in this community, we're all here in it, you know.
I think what's really interesting, I think one of the real sort of powerful things about this group is that it's not just synth users, people, you know, using Euro racks or modulars or whatever. It's everyone from you know, occasional users through to the total nuts that have got their rooms full of stuff like you, Rob, and me and Kent and whatever, although not this room. And then there's the manufacturers, and there's the people that have also contributed to the development of this stuff. So you recently had Dave Caulfield on from Akai.
We did, of course,
and then there's the software people as well. So this is a really rounded, a very complete universe you've described with this group.
Yep.
And the people that come in just provide such a brilliant view of, you know, a brilliant overview of the whole industry. And I couldn't be more optimistic for where we're going, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that's come out of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So well done.
So Michelle had to nip out, but she's gone. But thank you ever so much, Michelle, for coming on. Huge round of applause to Michelle Mokusa. the chief. What's it? Well, I don't know her full title. I'm sure it's very illustrious, but she's the chief bigwig at the Bob Moog Foundation, who do fantastic work. So please do support them, as well as the Alan R. Perlman Foundation. I'm always conscious, I have to say, and I should have said this when Michelle was here. But I'm always conscious of trying to make sure I give both of you ladies as much exposure, and I mean that in a non-criminal case way, giving you as much exposure.
Well, be your mind's in the gutter.
No, I'm preempting everybody else. It's giving you as much exposure as we can, because you both of you ladies do such amazing work. I mean, I've seen Dina in action. Please stop with this. So I've seen Dina in action.
God.
Walking the halls of Synthfest, doing all of that stuff,
digging deeper,
and schmoozing and doing all of that stuff, and the responses that she gets from people is just like,
hand him a shovel.
Yeah. I'm just going to give up.
He's going to need a bag.
I'm going to give up because I hear footsteps.
Is that somebody at the door?
I think that might be somebody coming up the path here. And they've rung the bell. We've opened the door too soon.
Cheeky ringing the bell after they've opened the door.
It's the one and only Jim Danica has joined us all the way from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Talking of superstar legends, how are you, Jim?
Good. How are you folks?
Yeah, really, really good. Yeah, great to see. I've been asking all our American guests, how's the weather?
Oh, it's freezing. It's for you guys, it'd be what, -17 or something? It's like 5, between 1 and 5 degrees Fahrenheit here. So.
It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
Nasty.
But
you are ensconced.
To stay warm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, turn that stuff on. So you're ensconced in your studio. You had to cut the tour short by 2 dates, I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because of the weather, yeah?
Yeah. It's up. I mean, it's normal up there, but they were worried about, bringing everybody out in that weather and then us getting stuck up there for Christmas. So
yeah.
So glad to be home.
Exactly. Yeah, you're home for the holidays. Does that now give you more time to spend on doing more stuff with your backstage pass material? You got stuff in the pipeline?
I had hoped so. Yeah, I'm actually trying to finish up the next release. I'd hope to have it out by Christmas, but that's not going to happen. But,
sure.
Yeah, I'm excited about the next one. I decided to work on an Oberheim themed one with all the Oberheim resurgence, and it's coming along really well.
Good, excellent. Well, do tell us when that's coming out, and we will do our best to spread the word and maybe have you on the show and get you to tell us all about it. You put out a video I think it was the other week, and I'm just going to throw it's a long video and it's well worth watching, but this is on Jim's YouTube channel, Jim Danica, and it is this wonderful epic synth studio tour with a deep dive. So it's like an hour and 10 minutes long, and we're just going into like all of Jim's amazing collection of synthesizers and hardware. It really is kind of like this nerd's wet dream, I guess is about the only words I can think about. It's just a fantastic look into what is a brilliant collection of instruments. How long did that take you to put together?
It's funny. I kind of just shot it over the summer when I was tearing things apart that one weekend, and I just hadn't had time to put it together. So when we were on the road, I spent, I don't know, an hour a day working on it. So probably about a week. So,
cool.
An hour a day.
I was waiting for you to say like, it took me about 3 months to do all that. Just a week.
No, I just didn't have time to put it together. So I shot it all back in June when I moved everything around, and then I thought, well, I got a little bit of time on the road, so keeps me busy.
Nice, excellent stuff. So, Christmas for you in the Danica household, like family. What's a typical Christmas look like for you guys? What are you doing this year?
Yeah, we're just kind of laying low. I mean, since we typically spend the last 3 months on the road a lot, I like to just have some downtime. So my wife went to the grocery yesterday and she's got some surprise planned and some adult beverages and
nice,
slippers.
Of course. Absolutely. Cool stuff. And 2023, what's that got in store? More touring? Any sort of work on your side in terms of your own personal projects?
Yeah, it's something really big actually that I hope to drop the news in January, but it involves I can say it involves some iconic 80s music and a live symphony. So I think that's going to be pretty epic if I can pull it off. It's something I've dreamed of doing for a long time.
Nice.
And
I'll
tell you about it in January, hopefully. Yeah,
Look forward to that. Just a reminder, if anybody in the chat has questions for any of our guests, please do throw them in there. Or if you just want to, give a personal shout out, just stick the big fat letter Q in front of your comments so we can pull it out. We've actually had a couple. Michelle's now gone, but I think this one was kind of directed towards her. It was from the Wookiee, and it says, apologies if I've got this wrong. Will the Moog plugin synths ever be available as real VSTs on, dare I say, a PC? Well, Michelle has no connection.
The Bob Moog Foundation has no connection to Moog Music.
Exactly. So you'd have to direct that one to Moog Music Inc. in Asheville.
And the other question was, Timberwolf asked, am I here? And the answer is, you certainly were when you asked the question.
Yeah. Are any of us here?
Well, is this the real life, or is this just fantasy?
Just fantasy, yeah. Caught in the landslide.
Reality.
Paul Artola has a question for you, Mr. Longhurst. There you go. Weren't expecting that, were you? Is there a current model that you are leaning on to build your project out that you were talking about earlier?
Not really. We're using. I mean, essentially we are. Essentially, we are cobbling this together. But the funny thing was, when we started looking at this, it was only a couple of weeks ago it happened, really.
Yeah.
And when we started looking at it, we didn't think it would be very easy to do, but we found this wealth of funding and people that are really keen to help and jump on board, specifically for community-based projects. So we're getting a lot of help. It's costing a lot of money, but we are getting a lot of help. And that's in addition to the real work, the other work we do as well, which is video stuff, and we're doing some lovely music-y things as well at last. But we didn't have a model, but we will be sharing that once we've built a model out. We'll be sharing it with everyone because we don't want other people to have to scrabble around quite so much as we are.
Nice one. Well, listen, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I hear footsteps coming up the ProSynth Network drive.
That's a load of footsteps.
That's lots of footsteps. In fact, I think there's like at least 8 footsteps I can hear there. Hang on. There's the door. Let's go and open the door. Ladies and gentlemen, it's only Mr. Wiggly and Lula May. I can't remember the name of the pooch. What's the name of the dog?
Delicious.
Hazel. There we go.
Very good. Happy Christmas all. It's a
happy
flying
Christmas to
visit
you.
on the phone to say hello. Look at Lula May.
Oh, look at that.
Gorgeous.
Which one's the cutest? I don't know.
Oh, it's Lula May. It's still Lula May. Sorry. She's got the dog beat.
It gives me an opportunity to do this. If ever you needed a Christmas jingle, there it is. I'm going to do it again. There we go.
That is actually my voice, I have to say. But there you
is
go.
It really?
It is.
Really?
Yeah, blended in there.
No way. I did not know that.
The demo. There's some. It's kind of. Yeah, the original demo.
For those that don't know, Stay Another Day, which was a massive Christmas #1 for E17, a huge hit, was co-written by Dominic Hawken, Mr. Wiggly. That's why I did that. Anyway, so let's have a...
Ho, ho, ho.
How are you, Luna May?
Hey.
Yeah,
are you well?
Yeah, it's a bit of a flying one. Whoops, where am I?
That's okay.
Been a slightly unhealthy couple of weeks before Christmas, but it's definitely improving.
Well, so, good that you're on the mend. Excellent.
Yeah. So, it's been a bit of a nightmare. So just in time for Christmas, it's beginning to. Yeah, I'm through the worst. It's all good. It's all going to be fine.
Excellent.
But yeah, so happy Christmas, everyone! Congratulations on some amazing shows during the year,
and to you as well for stuff. I mean, not only do you do the Sunday show, which is this brilliant, irreverent kind of just end of the weekend fun thing, but of course you do the more serious thing on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Which
I think we might give that a proper push next year because it's helped a few people, which is good. So
exactly,
it's turned into a kind of safe space, sort of a bit like Kent Stream, to be honest. It's like a safe space for people to chat, but not so much about synths really. So
less swearing.
It's been good though. It's definitely, well, if it had helped one person, it would have been fine, and it did. So there's at least 2 or 3 that have changed their lives, which is fantastic. You know, 'cause it's only a small little thing. So.
Excellent.
But
so,
I better fly, I'm afraid.
No, thank you ever so much for popping in. It's just an absolute pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Dom, please pass around hugs to everybody on behalf of all of us.
Very much indeed.
And Luna May, have a fantastic Christmas.
We got to get you on the show.
And happy Christmas to Mrs. Wiggly as well.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You will.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hey, Mr. Wiggly, everyone. And the wonderful Luna May, and of course Hazel as well. Ho, ho, ho. Fantastic stuff. Oh, this is great. I just, my head, I'm trying to keep on top of all of these people coming in and then doing all this.
You're up. Can
stuff.
I do a quick shout out?
Of course you can. That will let me sort of gather my thoughts. Go for it.
I would love to give a shout out right now to Andrew Brooks and Synth Addict and Sasquatch for the work that they do in the chat to sort of keep everything moving forward. I mean, you know, it's all you guys just need to take a bow, because it's not, you know, the more people who help out, the better off it all is. So thank you guys.
Absolutely. And yeah, to all of our moderators in the chat who do a sterling job of really, we don't get any real hassle. Every now and again we get a little spam thing, and that gets taken care of.
We don't have any real trolls?
No.
Oh God, I gotta work on that.
I know, it's like we haven't really made it until we've got our own resident troll that keeps coming back and giving us grief. But I tell you what they do, which is really super helpful for me, is posting links to the things that we're talking about in the chat, so people can, as we're talking about it, can just go off and that takes a load off of me. Hey everyone, I hear some more footsteps coming up the garden path. This is just great, and we were just welcoming guests left, right and centre. I think the doorbell's about to go. There it is. Let's open the door and let's see who we've got. It's only synthesizer programming legend and ambient sound designer supreme, Mr. Mel Wesson.
Mr. Mel
Wesson! How are you?
I'm pretty good, actually. Yeah, I'm quite good.
Is it warm in there with the mow going on, full pelt behind you?
Yeah. It's stupid. I've been working in here all day long.
Yeah.
About an hour ago, and that's it. There's nothing more until 2023, and it's sweltering in here.
So have you been working on anything exciting that you can maybe tell us about, or not?
You know, well, it's exciting to me. I've been doing more of my work for Extreme Music.
Oh yes, okay, this is the library stuff, yeah.
Yeah, which I just love doing it. You know, it's such a creative environment, for better cliche, and no, it works really well. You know, I'm really happy doing it, and I spent, you know, so many years in this room turning stuff out for them, and and it's all good clean fun, really. So that's it. But I haven't actually played them anything I've been working on for the last 3 weeks. So I'm going to send it to them tonight, and they're going to hate it, and I'm just going to be, no, I'm not around.
Put the out of office sign up, yeah.
Turkey to stuff. Yeah, it's good though. It's good. Anyway, Merry Christmas.
And to you, Mel, and to you, because wasn't it this year that you won an award for one of your pieces of music being used on F1 coverage? Was that this year? I can't remember now. This is what time does to an old brain.
It was for the Grosjean crash, which was.
Was that last season?
Yeah, I think. Maybe, and then it's like a year later. So I think it might have been. Yeah, you know, you could be right. It could have been November last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
So we're there or thereabouts. But I mean, that must have been super rewarding, because you're a huge petrol head as well as a huge synth head. No. So to have your music being used in Formula One was just
bad.
Like,
The petrol head thing's really bad.
Two expensive hobbies.
I do have an electric vehicle now.
Oh, impressive! Good for you.
But we use it for all our non-essential and essential journeys that don't go very, very far.
Don't go far. Yeah. Range anguish, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just waiting for somebody to bring out a stupid electric car.
It's awesome to see you, mate. Awesome.
What's everybody else up to?
Well, let's go around the room. I mean, I'm just going to be at home now. I've quit for the holidays now, so I'm just going to be sitting, eating, and drinking. Hopefully not going anywhere.
Hello, Dean. We haven't met, and this has nothing to do with you. Michelle's dad built it. I'm really sorry. If I had a 2600, which I did have about 40 years ago, it would be right there.
There you go.
It's all good. It really is all good. I love how everyone is so sort of, careful of people's feelings. But it's, I love Moog stuff. I love sequential stuff. I love Oberheim. I love everybody's stuff.
I love all that stuff. I just don't own any of it.
Maybe not once, but anyway.
Oh dear.
I just love.
No, we're not getting there again. We can't go there again.
No, we're not going there.
I didn't mean stuff. I meant equipment. Oh no, here we go. Gear.
Stop. Yeah, gear. Yeah, that's a safe word. That's a safe word.
I mean, a safe word. Now you're talking about safe words? Oh my God, Rob!
Oh dear. Is this the right time that I should share that Dina and I shared Negritos in a hotel bar at like 1 a.m. on a Sunday morning, or Saturday night, Sunday morning? Yeah. Yes, they were good times. They were good times. I mean, that has to be one of the highlights for me of the Synth year, was sitting in a booth in a bar at the hotel after Synthfest with Dina Perlman, Gaz Williams, Alex Ball, Andrew Ward, and myself, just shooting the breeze over drinks, and Gaz coming on and telling us his story about his middle name, which one day I will get to. God. Isn't it? It was just the most incredible story.
I wrote it down. I wrote down the spelling somewhere.
Oh, you did?
Serious. Yeah, I have to find it.
Yeah. Well, look, while you go and do that, I've got two more people walking up the driveway coming to see us in the show. So let me just do this. And there they are, coming up to the door. And I recognise that doorbell. First of all, it's
like the crypt.
I know, you're just waiting for the ho, ho, ho. It's Dr. Manny Fernandez, everyone.
Oh, Manny!
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. Are you at work still?
I am work. I am at work. I am in
wow.
Yes.
He's got his scrubs on.
Yeah.
But the good news is all addresses are available to the Saint of Nicholas, and I have a stocking stuffer here that, let me just pull it out. What could it be? Oh man!
He brings his reface to work.
There's batteries in it and everything.
So what does it want to be when it grows up? A real synthesizer?
This is a real synthesizer. Look, no doorbell.
I know.
That deserves a round of applause, everyone. Thank you, Manny. Thank you so much. Great to see you, sir. Talking of people that have been putting videos on the internet recently, you've just done one yourself, which I think I do need to tell people about, because it is great fun. It was a Sunday in the studio with Manny Fernandez, who has this incredible wealth of equipment, shall we say, synthesizer gear, and you set up a multicam video. Sometimes I actually make music with all this stuff, and it's using all sorts of Eurorack and FM and Hydra synths, and if you haven't, go and check it out. Yeah, Third Wave's in there as well. It's a lovely way to spend 5 or 6 minutes. What was the inspiration behind that?
Well, my kids joke. Okay, I don't have a studio. They call it Dad's Hole. Like a groundhog.
I'm not going anywhere near that.
Yeah. Got up time again.
Yeah, exactly. So,
dear.
Anyway, obviously, I have done sound design for eons. Like so many people here when we were younger, I thought we were all going to be rock stars. We all did that, but most of my music endeavors of late are limited to all the various demo sequences that accompany all the sound design and such like that. So one of my kids made one of those wonderfully rude child comments that's like, geez, Dad, I can actually use that stuff for anything. Okay, so, I've been, very humbled by seeing the imams and the likes of Andy and Grace and Jamie and Jim Glue and all the crew. And I thought, well, let me just put something up. I bought all that Behringer stuff to pretend I'm Kraftwerk and Tangerine Dream. So I just figured it's Sunday. What the hell? So
why not? Well, it's a cracking watch because you've been lucky enough to get your hands on things like the Third Wave, which I'm deeply envious of. So it's just great to see these things in the hands of somebody who can actually use them and do some great stuff. So more power to you, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun actually, and I decided to pick a sound set for all of the instruments that maybe would not be expected.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing I love about that video is when you call it up, as it just goes to start, it looks like CCTV footage of somebody robbing a drugstore.
Or robbing a synth store. It looks like somebody robbing Perfect Circuit.
Excellent stuff. So it's Christmas Eve. You're still at work. What the hell, for a start? But what does the Fernandez household get up to over Christmas?
Well, so we, my mom has put on a neighborhood Christmas party for 60 years.
Nice.
And thankfully, my parents are all with us. And even though we went virtual for COVID, we did start that last year, and it's going to be going on again. So I'll be doing Christmas Eve at my parents' house. And
okay, so you're not still living in their basement.
No, thankfully not.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure. You got to clarify that, sometimes with some of these people.
Exactly.
Well, I've just got to say, who's actually in their basement right now? Would that be you? There you go.
Oh dear, that backfired.
Yeah.
And on Christmas Day, Manny, is it just your family around the table, just good old traditional?
Yeah, well, so our tradition has always been a mix between mine and my wife's families because we are both been blessed that all our families are local. Unfortunately, this year, my wife lost her mom, which means both their parents are no longer with us. So we're going to have a little change up with our Christmas Day plans because we used to split the families for brunch and dinner. But we are going to make do and honor the her mom and have a very nice full day of family festivities.
Cool stuff. Good. So, well, enjoy. Mark's had to leave us, but so look, thank you ever so much to Mark Barnes for coming on. I think he deserves a round of applause. There we go. MarkBarnesSounds.com. And also Angel Star Scotland on YouTube. If you want to go and check out the whole Christmas song there, it would be fantastic.
I have a Mark question, Robbie.
A Mark question?
Yes, I have a Mark question. What part of Scotland is he from? Is he from Glasgow?
I believe he's from there or the vicinity thereof.
Because he got a glottal starts going like I couldn't believe.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's the sort of accent you don't want to be found down an alley with. Yeah.
It's so beautiful. I just
it is.
Yeah. I think that at some point or another, like Alan Perlman wrote for the ARP 2600 manual that you have to turn the filter around and back flush out all of the frequencies it catches every once in a while. And I was just wondering sort of where they put all the glottal stops. Where do all the glottals go if you stop them? Anyway, never mind.
Where do they
go?
Jim
Banneker has to head out. Jim, thank you so much for stopping in. Stay safe and warm down there in Nash
Thank you, Jim. I've got to use this music. I spent so much time getting this together.
And now.
There we go. It's really cheesy stuff. Anyway, this is fantastic, isn't it? We did have another guest on their way, and then they vanished. I don't want to say who it is. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I'm hoping twice. Could you do me a favour, Kent? Like you're sat there with your feet up. Could you chase that person and try and get them back in?
Oh God, I've got to get up, have I?
Well, yeah, do something. Yeah, because Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without this person.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, so much Christmas cheer.
If that person is still, what I'm worried about, you see, is because we've had so many people come in, there is a limit to how many guests that we can have, and I thought the limit was like people on screen, but maybe it's people in the green room. Maybe they keep getting booted off. And they think we're kicking them out, and I don't.
So you can go up to 10.
That's what I thought. We've got 9.
But then, then nobody else can come in until somebody leaves.
Yeah, well,
according to my show, which is far more popular. Apparently.
Yeah, no, of course.
Well, on your show, Ken.
Is it?
Hi.
Actually, Rob, it's appropriate. I'm going to go to viewer mode only because I have all my morning notes to type up, but I will be here in the chat. Happy holidays to everybody.
And to you, Manny.
Wonderful seeing you.
Yeah, thanks for all the support this year. Really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Cheers. Bye, Manny.
Bye-bye. Manny Fernandez, everyone. Of course, Manny, along with Andy Synth Addict, did that great tour for us around Synthplex this year, which was fantastic. You know, we got a personal private guided tour around the big Oberheim display from Marcus Ryle himself. Which was fantastic. And then, of course, Marcus came on the show a few weeks later in his own right, which was just superb. And you know, looking through the guests that we've had this year, I mean, obviously, the esteemed collective that we have in front of us have all been on the show this year. Mike and Dina and Santa and Chris, of course, and Mel. We've had Martin Ware and we've had Marcus Ryle and just some amazing names with some amazing stories. And we do intend to carry that on as much as we can, into 2023. We've already got some people on the boil, shall we say? So that'll be cool. If you have any suggestions, of course, reasonable suggestions, like Elvis would be out of the question. Unless somebody does come up with reanimation, then maybe we can do that.
But have you seen the body? Teach the controversy, man. Teach the controversy.
But if you have any suggestions, or if you have any connections, like if you have the phone number or the email address, because we have done something like, I mean, we've got one guest that I've been trying to get on for a while now, and literally, I'm not going to say who it is because again, it'll be a surprise, but somebody contacted me out of the blue and said, hey, this guy is a bit of a synth nerd. And I'm like, really? That guy? And they said, yeah, you want to get in touch with them. And so we're sort of making headrows in on that one. But if you do have contacts, then please do that. So Kent's, I think, just come off the phone. What's the verdict, Mr. Spong? Well, he can't hear us. He hasn't got his headphones on. Let's wait. There he is. Right. So what's the verdict?
He can do it now.
Oh,
but I accidentally phoned somebody else.
So Handsome is coming on.
No. I accidentally phoned Dave.
Oh, okay.
So he might come back yet.
Okay.
And I'll point him.
Well, I did chuck an invite in the direction of GeForce Software. I know he's very busy, so
yeah, he's a bit. Just trying to think, we could phone Hans, couldn't we?
No,
what time is it?
Did you see the video? The GeForce video was very cool.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And we got you were there. You're on the cover shot, Dina. Crikey.
Yeah.
But yeah,
my bald patch is in it.
Your bald patch is in it, fixing the 8 voice.
Yeah.
And all of our ugly mugs are on there because we had Dave and Chris. I mean, that was another great achievement this year, I thought. I mean, not just getting Dave on, but getting Chris McLeod on, because Chris has never done.
Right.
I think he might have done one Sonic State. But
1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
So that was a real wow moment. When Dave said, "Oh yeah, Chris will come on." Yes. So yeah, and that was a really touching show because towards the end, I can't remember the question, but they both spoke about each other in such an endearing way. It was just, they're two of the loveliest guys.
They really are.
Yeah. So yeah, it was fantastic. Chris, you've been sat there rather quietly, festering in your Christmas jumper. Have you got anything to add? Come on, look, we're doing all the talking here.
No.
Okay.
Only that I had a moment earlier on that made me feel really old.
Go on.
My sister came over for Christmas. We swapped presents, and my nephew was there. He's 16, just about to finish school, and he's really into the idea of making his own music. So I was like, oh yeah, he's talking through what software he's using, and someone suggested he'd need an audio interface. It's like, oh well, I bought a new one recently. I'll dig around and grab my old one for you. Mm-hmm. Grab this old M Audio, and was looking through trying to find drivers and stuff for him. And then I told him when it came out, he's like, "Oh well, it's older than I am." I'm like, USB audio interface. It's like that's nasty, but and we were talking. My sister said, "Oh, do you know what cassettes are?" And he went, "I think so."
I think so.
God.
Well, actually, they're coming back into fashion, which kind of freaks me out.
Yeah. I've got a drawer full.
Absolutely. I mean, no, they really have. So I had this incident in my household some years ago where I had some boxes of tape cassettes, all pre-recorded, all legitimately acquired, no copies or anything. And I kept them because I do that sort of thing. And all of a sudden they disappeared. And my wife didn't know anything about it, but I still think that she was behind the great tape disappearance of 2009. So, yeah, I lost all of those. But I have been, every now and again, I sort of go on eBay or Discogs and I find, some of those like genuine classic cassettes that I had back in the day. And I just go and buy it, even if they don't sound that great.
There's something about each medium that we've recorded on over the years, whether it's cassettes or before that, reel-to-reel tape, and then CDs, whatever. Each one of them brings a different experience of music, and particularly vinyl. The thing with vinyl was it was a very visual and tactile thing. Everyone says that it's or not everyone. A lot of people say that it sounds so much better. It doesn't.
No,
it hasn't got the dynamic right.
It sounds like ass.
Yeah, it does. But the listening experience and your perceptual version of what you perceived with it stays with you. It's memories, and I think that's the same with all the synths we've seen coming up and coming through. And I think this resurgence back round to modular is precisely because of that. One of the things which we've been doing with some of the mentoring we've been undertaking is showing people sound. We do video and everything else, and if you understand sound, if you understand the synth from left to right visually, which is why either the Odyssey or the ARP or the Mini Moog, any of those work because you can glance at them and see what the sound is, and if you understand that, then you understand everything about shape of rhythm, what the shape of the sound is and how it's going to work, and then you understand everything about compression and EQ, and then you understand everything about video as well. It's an extraordinary thing. So these different mediums all seem to be coming back, and it's because the experience, whilst the quality may have moved on, the experience of each of these different media brings something unique, which is it's a shame to lose, and I think it's really good that people are rediscovering them all.
Yeah,
I completely agree. People are missing the tactile sensation.
Yeah,
and I think we learn better when there's more than one sense being involved. If we're touching and we're hearing and we're seeing, and if you can't see, if you can touch and feel, so yeah, I completely agree, and I think it's fascinating to watch.
Yeah,
and
there's actually some artists out there. This is really, I had no intention of this segue occurring, but it's good. There are artists out there who are producing their material and releasing it on these kind of old classic mediums, and there's one guy media
editor
mediums, it works, but there's one guy who's in the UK. His name's Martin Stonehouse, and he has a Bandcamp page called Stored Technologies, and on that he does retro style music and then releases it both digitally and on old style formats, and cassettes were one of them, but the other one was mini disc, and that was Mike just reminded me. He's done a whole bunch of stuff on mini disc, and I went all in on mini disc. It was probably not my wisest choice, but I still have my mini disc recorder and a whole bunch of discs full of so thank you, I'm not alone. But what it's actually allowed me to segue into was this other thing. So for Christmas, Martin has actually released a song. It's free to download from his Bandcamp page, and I highly recommend everyone goes and checks it out. But not only has he this one's digital only release, so there's no physical medium for this, but the entire thing was made on a Roland SC88VL, which was my first proper synthesizer from 94 94, 95, I think I got it. And I got it from the late lamented Turnkey on Charing Cross Road that no longer exists. And I found it in the Sound on Sound brochure that used to come in the middle of the magazine. And they knocked, I think it was £468 they knocked it down to clear. And I bought it because it was 64 voice polyphonic and 32 part multi-timbral. And I wouldn't need anything else, so I thought. But I still have that module. But Martin has done an entire piece just on this, and it's a lovely Christmas piece. And I just wanted to play a little snippet for you now. And just the sound of this is so nostalgic for me. I don't know what it is for the rest of you, but have a listen to this. So 19, isn't it?
Like Scritti Politti.
It's kind of a cross between Scritti and Janet Jackson, isn't it?
Yeah. That would be a really weird baby.
That would be cool, yeah. And so it goes on, and it builds, and it's just absolutely wonderful. And the entire thing was done on
a sound canvas.
On a sound canvas, which I still think to this day, I fire it up every now and again and just have a big blast of nostalgia.
What?
There are some patches on there that I will use above any other modern day things, like their French horn orchestra patch is just stunning. I just love it. I would much rather use that than like a Spitfire audio thing, with all due respect to Spitfire audio. But if you want, what did I just say there? If you want to buy that, you can find him on the Store Technologies. I thought I had the webpage and it seems to have disappeared. But yeah, go and check it out. DataStream is the name of his act.
And if you've been around long enough, you tend to get stories about all this stuff. In chat, just answering a couple of things that have come up. Yes, somebody mentioned, I think it was Cresshead mentioned wax cylinders, and I'm like, actually, I can drive when the weather's better, I can drive about 5 minutes to a guy who has wax cylinder machines.
Wow. Nice.
And you know what? Surprisingly, they sound better than the last Metallica album.
He's a scratch DJ.
Yeah, not you could, but I wouldn't want to do it more than once, especially if you like the cylinders. Yeah. But the other thing is, people are mentioning stuff like mini disc. You mentioned mini disc. I got to tell you, there's an artist out there, an ambient guy named James Johnson. I don't know what he's doing these days, but he recorded some albums for the Hypnos label back in the 2000s, and his whole thing. The reason why his album sounded unique, and not necessarily unique in a bad way, just unique, was he loved the lossy compression on mini discs so much that he would finish an album, he'd master it, and then he'd record the master onto a mini disc, and then record the mini disc playback back onto whatever he was delivering to the label.
Wow.
So he's got like half a dozen albums that came out on this very, very hi-fi label that were mini disced along the way because he just loved the sound. And I've actually still got a mini disc player that works, a little Sony, and I've got a collection of probably a half a dozen Japanese commercial mini disc releases, which are in cassette boxes that are just a little deeper. So they'll fit in the cassette rack, but they stick out.
Yeah. I mean, mini disc it had that 8-track compression, which was, a lot of people actually really hated that compression. But I guess from an artistic perspective, if it worked, then that's great. But they went on and did like long playing mini discs, and they did the Net MD as well, didn't they?
And they did the data discs, which which they deliberately designed. You couldn't use a data disc in a commercial player, and vice versa. They had a whole line of 8-track MD recorders that were gorgeous that they killed because you couldn't get the media.
Yeah.
So that was you go back and you read my editorials in the magazine back then, and it was just like, here comes mini disc. I love mini disc. Mini disc has so much potential. What are they doing with mini disc? What's happened to mini disc? Why?
Within the space of about 6 months. Yeah, it's crazy.
It was ugly.
I was doing hospital radio back then, and we actually we used to have the old traditional cart machines and racks of carts.
Oh yeah, carts.
And one weekend we went out and bought these mini disc recorders, and we transferred everything to mini disc, and it was just like, you had a little list, cue in the number, boom, it was there. It was just like so instant, so quick. There's a great mini disc I've got by so there's a musical act called Ortekra. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, so Chris, and they did an album under the name of Guesscom. And it's this brilliant concept, because the one thing that Minidisc did really well was track skipping without any pausing. So you could literally go from like track 1 to track 70 with no delay whatsoever. And they created, I forget how many tracks there are. There's like nearly 100 tracks. And what the idea is, you put the disc in, you press shuffle, and then you press play. And every time you listen to the album, you get something completely different. And it kind of works in this weird sort of way. But you could only do it on mini disc. You do it on CD, the delays are too long, so you just get this stuttering. So, yeah, great sort of thing.
So going back to studio-y stuff, because I sort of was brought up on 2-inch tape, really.
Ditto.
Yeah. So the 2-inch tape thing, and I remember. When Dina gets back, I've got a little thing for her as well if she ever makes it back. But I remember with 2-inch tape all the way through the development of 15-inch, 30-inch, and whatever. And I remember the sound that we all, well, that I really adored, that everyone liked, was Dolby SR at 15 IPS, because you got the weight. And you got a really lovely, it was a brilliant sound. Floyd used it, and a whole bunch of other people. I loved the sound of it. And I also remember just before Cedar brought out their noise click removal gear, which was hugely expensive, 20 grand or something. I met a guy who lived down in Brighton who declicked tracks, restored tapes for, or vinyl or whatever for the BBC, and he would put a tape on, transfer it at 100 IPS, and then he'd go through and take out the tiniest slivers diagonally across a 2-inch all the way through, just carry on doing this. And it was like confetti, it was like brown confetti or brown whatever it was. It was quite extraordinary. He used to denoise, and it took an age. And it's just
wait a minute. He was doing multiple razor blade edits on.
Yeah, he was doing hundreds.
Oh, mad respect. Oh my God.
But he loved it. He was very OCD. But
no shit. No doubt. Really?
The only problem with it was that all the clicks were pretty much removed, but he was so focused on the clicks, he didn't think about how much length he was taking out. And so as it was playing back at slightly, it was really odd timings going over a period. It was just a very, very odd set of timings, but I love those times. I love those times. There was something rather wonderful about it.
I've seen an engineer like completely remodel the middle eight of a song just by physically cutting and and sticking the tape together again, and that was just genius. And that was before, obviously, he wouldn't be doing it if he had the computers to do it. But it was before you even realised anything like that could be done. For me, it was just like witchcraft or something. Right. It was incredible.
I was recently faced with someone giving me I think it was a half inch Duda.
Sorry.
Analog machine, and saying, look, can you just set it up, because you have to go through a whole setting.
Calibration and
calibration. I used to know how to do that stuff with my eyes shut, and I looked at this thing and I just started doing it, and my mind just went completely blank, and I just looked at it and went, no.
Yeah, you lose
no idea.
You lose this stuff if you don't do it all the time. Absolutely. No, I was just going to say that you get these people who are really good with. I did razor blade editing, but I was doing very simple stuff on half-inch and quarter-inch when I was in the studios in the 80s. But I've known people who could do stuff like, there's a flubbed note on track 5 of this 16-track tape, and they'll go in with the razor and they'll cut out a window in the tape. They'll find the one track and they'll take a hole they'll cut a hole in the tape, leave everything else the way it is, and take out this one note on one track. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, I'm a goddamn amateur, and I'm always going to be a goddamn amateur. So
that's amazing. That is.
You just need to zoom in on the tape.
You just pinch and undo.
Oh dear.
Oh god.
Dear.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Although the razor blade did lead to some interesting things. I actually had. Oh my god.
Oh, you mean tape?
Yeah. Mel, come on. Kids are too young to recognize that reference. No, I had a friend who was actually at a music conservatory who was taking an experimental music class, and he worked his tail off and was getting B's and B minuses because the professor just wasn't feeling it, right, and he was just getting more and more and more discouraged throughout the year. And so finally there was a time for him to hand in his student project, right? And he was just so disgusted with how this was working that he didn't do anything. And the night before it was due, he went into the student studio where everybody else had been slaving away. He went over to the garbage can where all of the waste tape was. He hauled out a fistful of it, spread it out on the editing block, and started chopping and taping randomly. And he didn't even care if the tape was backwards. He was just, and he put together like I don't know, like 10 minutes worth of this stuff, right? And then he handed it in. He got an A+. And it was just like carefully chosen timbres. What a wonderful expression of, and he was just like, that's it. I have no respect for this. I have no respect for this anymore at all. But the things you could do with razor blades, right?
Indeed.
Anyway,
indeed. Yes,
amazing,
fantastic stuff. Well, we've got about 10 minutes.
Some razor editing on CDs, but it really didn't sound that good. Mark Gunderson of Evolution Control Committee, who invented the mashup, by the way, would razor blade edit CDs and then play them back and record the skipping and glitching and stuff.
Oh wow!
So it's a thing.
Yeah, and the mashups I used to be. Funnily enough, this just arrived the other day, which is one of the greatest mashup albums of all time, as heard on Radio Soulwax Part 2 by Too Many DJs.
Yeah, great album. Great album.
Superb. I mean, on vinyl it kind of loses its effectiveness because you have to turn it over 2 or 3 times. The CD is absolutely amazing, but that's like
what is that, Robbie?
As heard on Radio Soulwax Part 2.
Oh, that's what it's called.
By Too Many
come
DJs.
Out, Rob?
20 years ago.
Yeah, you see, the very first mashup was created in 1994. It was created by Mark Gunderson for his album Gunderphonic, and I can go show you. The album was a cassette packaged in a broken 8-track shell, with a picture on the cover of a man in a business suit with his head replaced by a tray of ground beef, because one of the songs is called The Mighty Hamburger. But that has the very first mashups ever done. It's an instrumental track of Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass with the guys from Public Enemy rapping over it. So it's Flava Flav and Terminator X and whatever the other guy's name was, Chuck D, I guess, rapping over over Herb Alpert. And this album, by the way, is free. It's available out there online. So you should go and get it. But yeah, so he did 2 of those. He did the whipped cream mix of By the Time I Get to Phoenix, and I forget what the other one was, but these 2 little tracks. And everybody's like, this man's just invented a genre.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it exploded, didn't it? I mean, there was some really amazing stuff, and then there was some really awful stuff. And it got to a point in the sort of like early 2000s where you had LimeWire and SoulSeek, all these peer-to-peer stuff, and you'd see something, you would just set a whole bunch of downloads going overnight, because obviously we were all on very slow broadband speeds, and then the next day you would just go through, no, that's rubbish, or that's good, that's rubbish. And Soulwax, or Too Many DJs, was one of the ones that always rose to the top. There was a guy called Freelance Hellraiser that used to do some amazing mashups. and yeah, there was a few others, and there was one guy that what was his name? He used to go under the moniker of Smash TV, and he's a Scottish guy, and he did this mashup, but it was Queen. Okay, so they found this recording of Freddie singing a song called, I think it was just called New York. And it was like a rough tape demo that Freddie, he'd got his cassette deck on the top of the piano, and he just kind of sung this thing in. And it came out on like some like box set collection of rarities. And he took that, and then he sampled drums and bass and guitar from a whole raft of other Queen tracks, and then assembled a complete track from it. And put the vocal on, and it sounded just like a Queen recording that had been lost around the sort of Radio Gaga era. It was stunning, and even apparently, Brian and Roger loved it, but the EMI, whoever it was at the time, wouldn't license it, and so it just kind of it just festered on the backwaters of the internet. But the best one, I think, was Danger Mouse, who obviously we know Danger Mouse.
Yep.
Or what's his name now? Brian something or other. Anyway, his first kind of rise to prominence was this mashup album called The Grey Album, where he took Jay-Z's vocal from the Black Album, and then he took all the music from the Beatles' White Album and created music for Jay-Z's raps to sit on, but instead of just taking whole tracks, he did exactly what you guys were saying, with just slicing things up into just individual drum hits from one song and bass notes from another and guitars from another, and then just created these amazing tracks. And it all went viral online. He distributed it for free, got loads of cease and desists, but it's stunning.
Danger
album.
Doom. Yeah, when he worked with MF Doom was just spectacular stuff.
Yeah, and DJ Gemini.
So
fun.
Pop Life.
Fun.
Anyway.
So now that Dinah's back in the room, I've got a little thank you to make to you, to ARP, for my career to a very large extent. You've heard this story before, but I'm just going to make this very, very quick because I'm sure it's going to bore the tits of everyone else. When I started out in the industry, which was around about 83, I already knew quite a lot about synths, but I knew nothing about recording, and I'd somehow or another got a job as an assistant engineer in a studio that was just starting up under the tutelage of Tom Newman, lovely man. And he had an Ampex MM1100 2-inch tape machine, which was the one that was flown in from the States to the UK for Mike Oldfield's, I think it was Queen Elizabeth Hall concert of Tubular Bells.
Oh, wow.
And they bought it in, and they plugged it in without checking the mains, and of course it just killed it. So he had this machine, and it was one of the first 24 tracks available, and it was a little less than reliable, shall we say. And we were doing a session when one day when the crystal just died, the crystal circuitry died, so it didn't know what speed to go at, so it just kind of. And we happened to have in the storehouse, the warehouse below, one of the original 2600s, and we boarded it up, warmed it up for about 30 minutes, and then we plugged across from it to the crystal circuitry on one of the oscillators on a sine wave, and just hoped it would stay okay. And we ran the whole session for, I don't know, about 5 or 6 hours, and we had to make little tweaks from time to time, but it actually ran the whole session. And I remember people being deeply impressed that it was something that we could do.
Well,
and that was kind of the basis for me staying involved, because I always liked that mix of technology and synth and audio and all that stuff. That kind of really kick-started my career. So thank you.
Well, thank my dad, but
well, we've always said that a 2600 can do anything.
Yeah, so. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But over and over again, I always hear people's first synthesizers were an ARP, an Odyssey or a 2600, and that's how they learned. And it tickles me to no end that they're so popular still and getting new popularity. It's just, it's amazing. It's amazing to see. Sometimes if I think about it, my head explodes a little. So I just sort of
get overclimped.
I get overclimped.
So that kind of leads me nicely into this little final segue. I just wanted to give the foundation a little bit of a plug. So there's a great YouTube channel, and of course this has been the 50 years of the ARP Odyssey, of which there was a big celebration of. And I hope that a whole bunch of you managed to get tickets to go and watch the symposium back in November, which was a load of fun. And we love just playing this video because of Alex Ball's soundtrack to this. It's just superb. So yeah, go to, have a look for the Alan R. Perlman Foundation on YouTube for some great content. Of course, go to the store and buy loads of shit as well. If not for this Christmas, for next. And like the channel and subscribe. Do all of that stuff.
Oh,
absolutely. Yes. And also, Dina sent me this link that I'm going to share with you now very finally, which is a Spotify playlist. No, not that one. This one's called An ARP Odyssey Christmas. And it's been compiled by Stephen Alcorn. Let me just throw this up on the screen. So if you have Spotify, I don't know if he's done a similar one on other streaming channels, but there you go. There's a whole bunch of Christmassy theme songs all done on an ARP Odyssey.
Oh, just play a tiny bit of that first one. It's so fun.
I don't know if I can.
Right. Yeah.
Hang on. No,
It makes it weird.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah. And I've let my Spotify account lapse because I use a fruit-based competitor. So I don't know if I'd have to sign up or something. But yeah, go and check that out. Fantastic. Whistling, yeah, it's not quite the same.
You know the lyrics, actually, some of it anyway.
Yeah,
opening lines.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'd rather hear an ARP Odyssey do it. Listen, we've come to the end of the show. It's been a fantastic 2 hours. Thank you to everyone that stayed the course. To Mike, to Dina, to Andrew, to Chris, and to Mel, who was a bit of a late comer, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. Thank you all for coming on, and thank you to everyone else. Thank you for Paulie for trying to get on. Thank you
to say hi.
Yeah. Thank you to Jim Danica. Who else?
Mark Barnes.
Mark Barnes. Yeah.
Michelle Mokusa.
Dr. Fernandez.
Yeah. Dr. Manny Fernandez.
I tried to get in twice.
Ty, listen, Ty Unwin. Dominic and Luna May and Hazel. Yeah. But look, Ty said he's on dad duties this weekend, and so he said, I'll try. And he popped up, and I was like, we're in the middle of something. I can't just sort of like cut. And as I go to bring him in, he's gone. I thought, oh shit, have we kicked him off? No. Then about half an hour later, he comes back on again, and again, same thing happens. Just as we come to this, so I can bring him in, he goes, and that was it. He couldn't come back again. So, Ty, thank you for trying at least. We do appreciate it.
Ty.
Yeah, we miss you. Come on the show again soon. But thank you for everyone that came on the show, that answered the call at such short notice. This is what we do it for, and you are the people that help make this channel what it is. We just kind of cobble it together, but you guys are the inspirations. You're the interesting guests. You're the eye candy for what we do. So thank you ever so much. We really do appreciate it. We are going to be back same time, same place next week. So Christmas will be done. But Ben, Kent, and I are going to. I don't know if Kent knows this yet, but we're going to. Choose our top 5 hardware synthesizers, software synthesizers, and effects for 2022. We did it last year. We kind of had we each pick a top 5 and then we debate it on the show, and then we come up with a definitive. This is the ProSynth Network top synthesizer for whatever. So we're going to be doing that on the 30th of December. And then the following Friday after that, we'll have Mr. Mike Metley back on the show.
Dr. Mike, you cowering peasant.
No, not going to do it. Dr. Mike, or Der Mike, as we call him. Der Mike. We'll be back on the show, the first show of January, where we will briefly revisit our predictions that we made at the beginning of 2022 to see how many that we got right or got wrong. And then we'll be doing it all over again to make some predictions for 2023 to see, what might be coming in the synthesizer world. Because, quite frankly, at the moment, the news is all run dry because everyone's gone home for the holidays. So that's what we'll be doing. So please do subscribe to the channel if you want to get reminders of all of that stuff. Please do like the video below by clicking the thumb button, or you can click the bell to get your notifications. Share us around. That would be fantastic. Thank you again to Wagyu for a further donation of 10 chuffs. Thank you ever so much for your support over the year. And yeah, thank you everyone. Does anybody have anything they want to say before we head off for the holidays?
Hepton Bridge.
Just thanks to everyone for the support, and have a great Christmas. And
absolutely,
you guys make it all special, and I'm always so happy to be a part of this madness. And I don't know why they put up with me, but they do. And
he pays us.
But just everybody have a wonderful, safe holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got an ARC 2600 burbling in the background there. Very nice. Chris, you got any final words?
Yeah, just Merry Christmas. Yeah. Hope you have Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And thanks for having me on.
Stuff. Well, this is like your third. You've been on here now. You did a special and we did a whole show. Yeah, so please come back again next year.
Okay. Yeah.
Mel, have a wonderful Christmas. Anything you'd like to finish off with?
Oh, eat, drink, be merry. Think of those that don't have what we all have as well.
Yes.
That time of year, and it's particularly difficult this year. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm feeling a bit guilty about being in the warm some days, to be perfectly honest with you. But
Indeed.
We do our best.
There, but for the grace and all that. So
I have a seasonal
go
message.
for it.
Don't stab nuns. Just don't.
Okay.
Just don't.
Yeah, it's
That's all
wrong,
I've got to
isn't
say,
it?
really.
It's just wrong.
But
never again.
No, don't stabbing nuns.
Don't get in the habit.
Don't get in the habit.
Oh, come on.
And
3 hours I was working on that.
They've been secretly messaging. They've been secretly messaging, haven't they?
Just get it round to nuns. This line will work.
Any final words from you, Kent? Because I don't want that to be your last remark for before Christmas.
Let's all hope that Nigel Farage is found dead in a skip in Derby.
I think that's a sentiment we could all get behind. And I'm going to leave the last comment of the night to the wonderful lady in the room who has held her head with such pride and dignity amongst all these reprobates around her.
Thank you.
Dina, any final words from you?
Oh gosh, I thought my synthesizer said it all.
Well, this is okay. No, that's fine.
Bleep bleep burble burble. Here we go.
What's that, R2?
It does. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? There we go.
There you
rounding
go.
off the show with some bleeps and bloops. Dina,
Thank you all for having me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oops, I lost my speaker.
But yeah, thank
you all so much for having me.
Thank you for coming, and for thanks for all the fun times in Sheffield this year. Let's do it again soon. And
absolutely.
Best of luck with the foundation, of course, and of course this is your first Christmas as an officially married lady as well. Isn't it?
That's true. Yes, I had to make my name more complicated.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you all so much to everyone that's here. To everyone
Lady
that came
Aptitude
in.
is changing her name to Lady Arptitude.
Hey, good move.
Lovely.
Fantastic. Listen, thank you, everyone. Thanks to all the people in the chat that have put up with us, not just tonight, but like every show so far. We've got one more to do this year. That's going to be next week when we do our top fives. And we'll be back same time, same place. If you like, please hit those buttons. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you to all of our donators as well tonight, and of course every night up towards this show. And we will see you all in a week's time. Have a fantastic Christmas, and
ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, that's what more can I say. Take care, everyone. See you all soon.
Corn?
Bye bye, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.